Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Clear Politics Takeaway for February 22nd, 2022. I'm Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of Real Clear Politics.
I'm Carl Cannon, Washington Bureau Chief.
Let's talk quickly about Vladimir Putin, and we've got to mention, yesterday he sent quote-unquote peacekeeping troops into the eastern regions of Ukraine, which he recognized in a declaration earlier, gave a speech about that. The administration responded by saying, look, this is not, they weren't going to go full sanctions on him immediately because he has had troops in eastern Ukraine in the Donbass region since 2014. So they were sort of initially reticent to go, make a big splash in response. Where are we going with this? What's gonna happen here, Carl?
Well, Tom, I've written many times that you should never mention Hitler in a political conversation, especially about domestic U.S. politics. Compare people to Stalin and Hitler. I mean, it's done too often. But this is what Putin's doing is eerily like the explanations that Adolf Hitler and the Third Reich used, in 1937, 38, 39. There are Russian speaking people who are being brutalized in eastern Ukraine. Of course, this isn't happening. Hitler said there were German-speaking people in the Sudetenland. I have to have that. And then there's Czechoslovakia is doing the same thing. I have to have Czechoslovakia. And Austria is really part of Germany. It's eerily like that. And what the world did then is what it's doing now, is hoping that this guy will just stop at some point. He didn't.
Hitler did. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's certainly the Biden administration. This is they've been telegraphing for weeks. They thought this was going to happen, and now it has happened. So we'll see how they respond and where this leads us.
I blame the Russians for something else, Tom. I'm mad at them about something else, and I'm not trying to trivialize it. The democracy in Ukraine is an important issue, but the Russians, we're on a very strange role here in American sports, where everything is bad. The headlines are all about one catastrophe after another. It seemed to me to start with the Russian doping scandal at the Olympics. And then, our the best skier in the world fell down her first, 2 or 3 races. The other best skier the United States has decided to compete for China. Now we have the baseball players are on strike. Normally, Tom, everybody in Chicago where you live is all bundled up, and I'm happy. I'm planning my trip to Florida because catchers and pitchers report. Well, they haven't done that. Spring training is on hold because the players and the owners are fighting over money.
Coaches are hitting themselves in the handshake line.
Yeah,
in college basketball games.
Yeah, that was in the Big Ten territory. Juwan Howard took a swing at the Wisconsin coach. I guess he was upset that the coach called timeout, but he took a swing at the assistant coach, which seemed unfair. And, Brian Flores.
For the record, he has now been suspended for the rest of 5 games for the rest of the season, but he'll be back for the tournament. So
it seems pretty mild punishment, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. It just seems like, you and I we write about politics. We edit political stories. Sometimes we need a break from it. And athletics, you and I both are sports fans. And the worst thing for me, the Kentucky Derby winner has now been disqualified. All these months after the fact, and you wonder why they took so long. This race happened last May 1st, right? This is February 22nd. Well, because the horse that won was a 25-1 shot named Mandaloun. My brother had that horse and an exacta and the trifecta. He won't get a nickel for that. It would have been a couple of grand. They don't refund the money that. And with online betting, everybody can see what they had. They can type into their TVG account and say, oh, I had Mandaloun. Oh, he's the winner. Where's my money? Well, you're not going to get your money. So it's not a great month.
Hold on, Carl. Speaking of light sentences, Bob Baffert, suspended for 90 days and a $7,500 fine? That's like, he could find that in his couch cushions.
$7,500 jumped out at me. It's almost an insult. I imagine the real punishment there is the 90-day absent of purse money that he won't get. And that now we're approaching the spring. This is the time when these owners are running their horses, preparing their 3-year-olds for the Kentucky Derby. He's going to miss a whole crop of those horses. So I think it'll hurt him more than $7,500, but you wonder why they bothered a guy who's, worth millions and millions.
Well, Carl, sports, we've talked about this before, but is, like everything else, has been completely politicized and polarized, and there's no getting away from it now, whether you're watching the NFL or the NBA or whatever.
Or reading the Washington Post sports page, which I used to love doing, but now I have to steel myself because it's, one rebuke after another,
Although I do have to say, I mean, this is the worst season after the Super Bowl ends before March Madness. This is the dead zone of sports in America. I mean, there's just nothing going on.
Right.
And even when we had the Olympics, it seems like there was nothing going on.
I know, but my point is this is worse than nothing. This is negative. I mean, sports is now another cause of division and anxiety, and it's not supposed to be that way.
Well, you got to hang in there for 6 more weeks, and then the Masters will be on, and everything will be right with the world.
There's my friend Tom Bevan, the golfer.
There we go. All right, we'll leave it there for this morning. I'm Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of RealClearPolitics.
I'm Carl Cannon, Washington bureau chief, and this is the RCP takeaway for 2/22/22.